Clarity Clinical Solutions.
Welcome to this training module on Investigator Debarment Checks. The FDA has the authority to debar individuals from providing services to entities that submit abbreviated new drug applications or certain other applications. Using a debarred investigator in a clinical trial can have severe regulatory consequences. This module covers why debarment checks are essential, how to perform them, and what to do when a potential match is found. Understanding this process protects your study's regulatory standing. Debarment is a legal action that prohibits an individual from providing services in any capacity to a generic drug applicant or certain other FDA-regulated entities. The authority comes from the Generic Drug Enforcement Act of 1992, codified in Sections 306 and 307 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. Debarred individuals cannot conduct or supervise clinical studies intended for submission to the FDA. Debarment can be mandatory, for felony convictions related to drug development, or permissive, at the FDA's discretion for lesser offenses. Conducting a clinical trial with a debarred investigator can result in the FDA refusing to accept data from that site, potentially compromising the entire study. It may trigger warning letters, clinical holds, or disqualification proceedings. Beyond regulatory risk, working with a debarred individual exposes the sponsor to legal liability and reputational damage. The debarment check is a simple, inexpensive screening step that prevents catastrophic downstream consequences. No study should ever initiate without completing this verification. The FDA maintains a publicly available list of debarred individuals on its website. This list includes the names of individuals who have been debarred, the date of debarment, and the legal basis for the action. The list is updated regularly as new debarments are issued and as debarment periods expire. Sponsors and investigators should check this list before engaging any new investigator and should periodically recheck it during ongoing studies. The FDA also maintains a separate list of restricted and disqualified clinical investigators. Debarment checks must cover all clinical investigators and sub-investigators involved in the study. This includes the principal investigator, all sub-investigators, and any other personnel who make significant contributions to the conduct of the study. Some sponsors also extend checks to key site staff such as study coordinators and regulatory personnel. The check should be conducted using full legal names and, when available, other identifying information to ensure accurate matching. Remember that debarment applies to individuals, not organizations. Performing a debarment check is straightforward. First, access the FDA's Debarment List from the official FDA website. Download the most current version of the list, which includes names, debarment dates, and ending dates. Search for each investigator's full legal name, including middle initials and alternative spellings. Document the date the check was performed, the results, and the person who conducted the check. If no match is found, the investigator is cleared. If a potential match is identified, escalate to the Regulatory Affairs team for further investigation. While the FDA Debarment List is the primary resource, many sponsors supplement this check with additional screening tools. The HHS Office of Inspector General maintains a list of excluded individuals and entities, LEIE, which includes individuals debarred from federal healthcare programs. The GSA's System for Award Management, SAM.gov, covers broader government-wide exclusions. Some firms also use commercial compliance databases. These additional layers provide comprehensive coverage against the risk of engaging excluded individuals. Proper documentation of debarment checks is essential for regulatory compliance. Maintain a log that records the date of each check, the name of the person performing it, the database source used, the search criteria, and the results. For each investigator, include a printed or saved copy of the search results showing no match found. File this documentation in the investigator's regulatory binder. Auditors and monitors will expect to see this documentation as evidence of compliance during site qualification and initiation visits. If a debarment check returns a potential match, do not panic, false positives due to common names are possible. Gather additional identifying information to confirm or rule out the match, including date of birth, professional license numbers, and institutional affiliation. If the match is confirmed as the same individual, immediately notify your regulatory affairs and legal departments. The investigator cannot serve on the study. Begin the process of identifying a replacement investigator and document all steps taken for the regulatory file. Debarment checks are not a one-time event. The FDA list changes as new debarments are issued and old ones expire. Best practice is to check at multiple points during the study lifecycle, before site selection, again before site initiation, periodically during the study, at least annually, and before submitting any marketing application. Investigators who were clear at the start of a study may become debarred during its conduct. Ongoing monitoring ensures that the study always operates with eligible investigators. Failing to perform debarment checks can have severe consequences. The FDA may find that data collected under a debarred investigator is unreliable and exclude those data from the marketing application. In extreme cases, the entire submission could be rejected, costing years of development time and millions of dollars. The sponsor may also face enforcement action for failing to ensure the integrity of the clinical data. For the investigator, working while debarred is a federal offense that can result in criminal prosecution. Establish a standard operating procedure for debarment checks that defines roles, timelines, and documentation requirements. Integrate the check into your site initiation visit checklist and your regulatory document tracking system. Train all clinical research associates and regulatory staff on how to perform the check and document it correctly. Use electronic regulatory management systems that can automate periodic checks and flag expirations. Include debarment verification in your vendor qualification process for contract research organizations. Investigator debarment checks are a mandatory regulatory safeguard that protects clinical trial integrity. Check the FDA Debarment List before engaging any investigator and recheck periodically throughout the study. Document every check with date, source, and results. Supplement FDA list checks with HHS-OIG and SAM.gov screening. If a match is found, verify identity thoroughly and escalate immediately. Never initiate a study site without a confirmed clearance. These simple steps prevent catastrophic regulatory and legal consequences. You have completed the training module on investigator debarment checks. You now understand the legal basis for debarment, how to perform checks using the FDA Debarment List and supplemental databases, how to document your findings, and what to do if a positive match occurs. Reference the FDA's Debarment List at the FDA website, consult your organization's SOPs, and contact your regulatory affairs team with any questions. Thank you for your commitment to regulatory compliance in clinical research.